Tamily. It's time for our 67th Ask Tamily interview. And a couple of our interviews, we have re-interviewed someone who interviewed before. So today we're doing that as well. And that person is me. But I'm not doing the interview. Rebecca Wartzman, who was actually our 20th Ask Tamily interview. So, a lot of interviews ago, she's been an Ask Tamily star for quite a while. She is going to conduct my interview. So we're going to have her join. Just 1 second. Okay, we'll be connecting in a moment. And she's going to be asking me questions instead of me. Now I understand why everyone always feels nervous. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi, how are you? I'm so excited to be here with you today.
I'm excited too.
Okay, would you like to kind of introduce yourself? And maybe we'll just jump in. Is that okay?
Yeah, we could just jump in.
Amazing. Okay, well, let's give a rundown about Tracy Anderson method and how you were introduced to it and what your history is with it.
Okay. Well, I learned about the method from like her infomercial, and I think QVC, and I probably watched that stuff on TV. I mean, it had to be like 2010 and 11, all the time, like until 4 a.m. some nights. And I remember I lived in an apartment.
I saw that.
And I thought, well, I can't, like, do this workout, because I'll be jumping around and my neighbors would complain, and that's not a reason not to do a workout. So I kind of followed, like, her and knew about things with Tracy. I signed up for the email newsletter or whatever, like, years ago, and I got a notice that she had those glitter leggings that came out, the black and the red, years ago. And I went to her website, and they were $60, and I'd never spent $60 on leggings before. That's a whole different.
Hey, I have a question. One minute. Did you work out before this? Like, why were you going to purchase the leggings?
Because they were cute.
Okay.
And then I thought, well, the workout is $80, so I could either buy the leggings or buy the workout. And I bought Metamorphosis. So I did Metamorphosis in 2012, I think. For 90 days, I followed the plan, and I lost 12 pounds, and then I stopped doing it. I don't know why we do that. I think there's a lot of us that, like, do it and then fall off. So I fell off. I had it and would, like, maybe occasionally do it. But then I was in graduate school for 2 years and also working, so it didn't happen then. It was like the end of 2015. I was like, I'm getting on this train and I'm making it happen.
Okay.
And, I paid for a Vitality Week, which was in February of 2016, so it was like probably 3 or 4 months before.
Where was that Vitality?
Tampa. Well, it was called the Tampa Vitality Week, but it was actually in St. Petersburg. But close to my house. So I was preparing for that, and I still wasn't being consistent, even though, like, I bought a Vitality Week. What changed it for me was getting on Instagram and being part of this community, and then I started working out every day.
Yes, motivational moments. I love it. You know what? You were one of my first people I started following when I started doing this.
Oh, that's so cool!
Yeah, I thought you were, like, intense. You were doing it every single day. You were filming yourself every single day. That's a big deal. Because I rarely post myself filming. The only time I remember filming is, like, in the studio. That's incredible. So now, I'm not a Metamorphosis person or continuity, but I know that there is a meal plan that comes along with one of them. Am I right? How does that...
Well, I didn't do really anything. I read it, and it's in Lautner 30-Day Method book. I read about it, and I was like, I'm never going to eat like that ever. That's crazy. And so then, I guess it was in August, I went to the Vitality Week in the Hamptons, and, I was crazy workout girl for like 2 years. And I got promoted and I couldn't work out 6 or 7 days a week anymore. Like, it was 3 or 4 days a week, and especially with the way I ate, I couldn't keep up with that. So I gained weight back. I became like less athletic, and I was extremely frustrated with it. I talked to Tracy about that at the Vitality Week, and she said, you can lose 20 pounds in 42 days. And I was like, you're the craziest person ever. Because the first time I lost weight with this method, it took a year and a half, and I didn't really change the way that I ate. So I didn't do the plan that's like in the book, but I actually followed her recipes that are in the Performance magazine from the first quarter and second quarter of this year. So it's like the Life Bowls, and then other ones like, you know, kale salad and
lots of slaws.
Yeah, and then like omelets and stuff, like things literally I've never made before. So I made a commitment and followed those recipes, which they're I don't think they're that similar to what's in the book. And I found them, like, eating them to be, to me, a lot easier than what I would have thought was in the book. But it's still a completely, totally different way to eat. I was buying like 100% organic food from Earth Fare, and I've never done that before. So I didn't lose 20 pounds in 42 days, like Tracy said, but I lost 17.
I know, and you look like a rock star. You always look like a rock star, but I'm so impressed. Like, I that's why I reached out to you, and I'm like, this is the time to interview you. You're awesome. So give me like an example of a day in the life of Suzanne. How do you prepare your breakfast? I know that you work out in the evening. Do you ever choose to work out in the morning, before breakfast? There's a lot of studies coming out about that, actually. I don't know if you've read anything.
A little bit, and obviously, you know, Tracy is a big proponent about working out in the morning and working out before you eat. So I know a lot of people have done that, and I've tried. Like, there's probably 5 times I've done arms in the morning, but it's just not my thing. Like, I can't. So I'll tell you that 42 days, I was like a lot stricter about eating than what I've been since the end of the 42 days. I've still been eating really healthy, and now I'm getting meals from a thing called Green Chef, where they deliver the ingredients to you and then you just cook it, so it's very easy. I don't have to grocery shop. But the way that I'm eating now, and I am still like losing weight and, you know, want to keep doing that, I really love bagels and cream cheese, so that's what I'm going to eat for breakfast forever, if that's what I want. I'm just doing it. I don't need to go overboard, but that's what I'm doing. And then for lunch, because I work for a food company, we have food everywhere all the time, and also we service independent restaurants. So we go to restaurants for lunch and dinner constantly. It's very difficult, but Tracy's point is, most restaurants, you can order fish and vegetables, even if it isn't exactly on the menu, and tell them you want it without any sauce or whatever. So I can do that. I do not always make that choice, but I've made that choice a lot more recently. And then having the Green Chef meals at night for dinner, and not snacking, like no snacks, which means I'm really serious about lunch. So I will like rally the troops at work of, are we going somewhere or ordering something, and what's happening? That is the only part for me that's hard, is like probably not snacking in the morning. Like at night, I come home, make dinner, eat dinner, and then work out. My goal is 9 p.m. and often it's later than that. But that's when I have energy to work out. Like, I was working out at 11:30 one night last week when I was traveling for
I'm in a deep sleep at that time.
Right.
I have no idea how you do it.
Like, I always tell myself, this is stupid, I shouldn't do it, and I do the workout, and it's a fantastic workout. So I think it just kind of depends on your body and your mind. Like, it doesn't work for me to do it in the morning. Now, like, if I didn't have to work, midday is excellent for me, so I have done that when I work from home or something, but 9 o'clock is totally my hour.
It's actually really good because you won't be snacking during that time.
Exactly.
That's my snacking hour. Right? And I'm like, sometimes I'm famished, so I'll just hit the pantry and go for whatever. So in the mornings, you're always going to have a bagel and cream cheese regardless. Would you like kind of like do a healthy bagel or the night owl bread? Did you try that? It's actually quite good.
I think I have tried that. I do get bagel thins so that they're thinner than a regular bagel. And I also like Bantam bagels. I don't know if you know what those are, but they sell them at Starbucks. And you can also buy them at Earth Fare and then make them in your own toaster oven. It's like a little round bagel with cream cheese inside of it. So I will have those, or like a bagel thin. But, it's just something that I love. It starts my day off right, so I don't really care if it's exactly a healthy version.
And are you drinking, okay, so let's say you go to Starbucks, and you have to have snacks, or you have to have a meal there. What would your ideal meal be in this journey for you, in this weight loss journey for you?
Well, I always get iced coffee, usually like with Splenda or something like that. I know that isn't healthy, but I have to have things to be sweet. I have given up dairy stuff, so I don't get cream. I will maybe get like a splash of almond milk. And I can tolerate it with like 2 Splendas, usually also espresso in there. The largest bucket they'll give me of iced coffee is what works. And then I'll ask if they have the Bantam bagels, which a lot of the time they don't have them on the menu, but they will still have them there. Or I'll get a regular bagel too, because they have those. And if I feel like it needs to be a special treat, I will get an old-fashioned donut from there, because they're super fantastic. Like, I probably love them dinner that day, but oh my god, I love them.
My kids love them, and they like dissect it with the icing and everything. Amazing. Has anybody in the Tamily reached out to you and kind of like said, you know what, you're inspiring me during this time?
Definitely, and it's crazy to think that I'm inspiring anyone, because the Tamily
inspire me.
Like, it's funny to me when people, say that to me. Like, I need you guys so much, like, just to keep doing this and to have the right perspective. And, I didn't know that, like, that's the thing that would change stuff for me. Like, it's really when Tracy started the Got Your Back Girl Challenge in the beginning of 2016. That's the only reason I worked out every day until that Vitality Week, and why I didn't die there, because I'm not sure how I thought I was ready for a Vitality Week. I'd actually never worked out with heat and humidity before, and I really thought I might, like, pass out, throw up, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it was the people in the room that, helped with that energy. Like, Aggie was there, and she took my heavy weights off my ankles for me, like, so that I could just suffer through it and get through the workout. And it's full of, like, Instagram legends. I couldn't believe that I walked in there, and I went to that Vitality Week by myself. I walked in there and knew everybody's face from Instagram. And
it's real, huh?
It's freaking amazing. And I thought, like, I'm never going to be like these girls. I'll never be this athletic. I will never look like them. But maybe I can just, like, get to a point of being acceptable. Like, I remember thinking that and not realizing, like, this community is actually going to get me to a place of, like, self-worth and confidence I didn't know was possible, and health and well-being. Like, and it's really just because of this community. Like, I mean, that's why I do these interviews, because it inspires me to, like, keep going. So, because I need all of you so much, I find it crazy when people think I'm inspiring. I'm like, I only achieve anything because of you. But they definitely have reached out, and that's what's amazing about this community. We can all keep each other going. And to know, too, that, like, it's not a journey to a destination. There are so many ups and downs. And really, when I got to, like, a point of being actually a super athlete who could do advanced every day for a year, I thought, okay, cool, I'm here, and this is where I'll be forever. And that's not true. Like, you have to keep going through it. Stuff changes in life. I got promoted, and that's great, but that meant I had to travel and couldn't sleep and was stressed out by my job, and it changed things for me. But this community is the constant that like really keeps it going.
Totally. Can I ask you how you got so connected with Nicole? I know you guys are really, really close, and that was really featured in the VW, the August one, that you guys were posting, and it was just beautiful. How did you guys get connected so closely? Because Nicole also runs Ask Tamily with you.
Yes. So I, like, you know, was just kind of following everybody in the Tamily on Instagram, and I wasn't even, like, messaging that much with people, but just looking at posts and commenting, and a lot of people were going to the Hamptons Vitality Week. I think it was in 2016. So I went to the Tampa one in February, and like a lunatic, I wanted to go to one in
I love you. Okay.
It's so still on my credit card, so just know it's not even paid for yet. But I didn't have anyone to go with, and I saw, you know, I had a great experience at the Tampa one, but I went by myself, and I was staying in a hotel room by myself. I met lots of amazing people, but I was like, I really want to go with people. And so Nicole and Ashley were part of the Got Your Back Girl challenge together, and they posted that they were going. So even though I wasn't friends with them really, I just messaged them and said, can I go with you? Which is weird. And they said yes, which is also weird. And so we met and became amazing friends, and had that experience at Vitality Week. So it's really, like, Nicole and I are friends because I crashed her Got Your Back Girl, like, reward Vitality Week with Ashley.
I love it. Amazing. Okay, I'm going to look at our list. I know that there's so many questions that have come through right now. I don't know how to do this. Just one moment. And I saw Natalia wrote something so nice. But I'm sorry, people. Bear with me for 1 minute. Oh, it's not a question. Okay, we're gonna go back to this right now. Okay. I'm gonna go to our list of questions. Oh, am I here still?
You are. It's just buffering.
I think I'm frozen.
You're good.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just 1 moment, everybody. We're gonna continue here. Do I have to call back in or no?
No, we can still hear you.
But you can't see me.
It's okay. It'll fix it.
Are we sure? Okay. What are I?
You can't.
Okay.
It'll stop the recording. So, or actually, no, it won't stop the recording. But just keep talking.
What did should I go off and then come back on? Or no? Let me see. No, cancel. Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a question. Or should I just call back in? People should see me, shouldn't they?
They should, but sometimes it is still coming through even though you can't see it. This is the conundrum of being the interviewer.
What's that?
This is the conundrum of being the interviewer. But since I would just continue.
Okay, good. So I'm so sorry, everybody, but I would love to know who in the Tamily particularly inspires you. I know you're inspired by everybody, but there is a person that might have overcome a challenge that would have inspired you, or maybe somebody who is so persistent, and on days where you're like just so weak, you see that they're getting up and they're doing their thing and you need to do it too.
You know, I think, I mean, like you said, it's everyone. But particularly, like, people who work out in the morning, people who have children and fit a workout in their life, because really, when I first started this, I thought I didn't have time to work out. And it's not at all about having the time. Like, no one has the time. They make it the time, and they prioritize it. So, you know, especially because, I mean, I have 2 dogs. They are a lot of work, but they are certainly not, like, the amount of responsibility as raising children. And when I see, you know, women doing their workout with kids in the room and, you know, other things going on in their lives, like Tracy Fit Family Life, you know, the fact that she had breast cancer and continued her workout during...
Totally.
And, you know, made it about the fact that this workout is about health and well-being. Like, it's great that it makes us look good, and that's usually the way that, like, people start a workout, because they want to change the way that they look, but that's not the point of it. Like, seeing that type of, inspiration and perspective, and making me realize, like, I need this workout so that I'm the healthiest me I can be, so I can be the best HR director for my company and the best aunt for my nieces and nephews and the best dog mom for my puppies. Like, it isn't all about, like, the physical results, but those are certainly, motivating, but that's not the perspective I had before. I never thought about, like, athleticism and dedication to fitness really being important to, like, health and well-being, and doing it for that reason. Like, I thought a lot about, once people get to the point of, how, like, someone like Loretta looks and how perfect she can do workouts. Like, why would she keep doing it every day? Like, those were some of my initial thoughts. Like, don't you do it till you don't have to do it every day? But it's a whole different, outlook that you need to do it every day. First of all, to maintain it. Like, people don't realize muscle tone goes away really fast, like days, if you have not done your workout. But it's also about, like, maintaining your, mental health and balance and just being a total, well person. And seeing, like, that kind of inspiration from those people is really, like, what has made me know this is definitely the method for me. And that it's, just such an amazing community surrounding it.
Is there something that you didn't expect that you can do, but because you've made this a daily habit and you've realized how strong you are, are you able to do something else now that you never expected to do?
I definitely am surprised by, like, the strength that comes from this workout. Like, from the outside looking in, it does not look like you're going to build that much strength. And Tracy's, kind of mantra, like, years back, which I know it's not really what she says now, but she used to say it's to make you the teeniest, tiniest you. And so I thought, well, this is going to make me look like a ballerina, like, but not a strong ballerina that, could lift stuff, or, like, I'll tell you this story. This is just...
One minute, Suzanne. Yeah. Tracy said this is going to make the tiniest you?
Yeah, she used to say that as, like, the mantra of the workout.
I did not know that. Wow. Okay. Yes, I'd love to hear your story.
So, I was at work once, and I was going to be moving, so I was asking somebody who had a pickup truck at work if he could help me throw this couch away. And he made this face, and I'm like, if you don't want to help me, then don't help me. And he's like, no, I'm just thinking, like, who's going to help me lift the couch? And I was like, who's going to help you lift the couch? I am. And he's like,
that's right.
I can't lift a couch. And so I got into a star plank in my office, one arm, one foot, and my leg and arm out like this. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm showing you I can lift a couch. And he's like, get out of that position. It's weird. Someone's going to walk in here and wonder what you're doing. And I'm like, I got to do it until you know I can lift a couch. And, like, that was probably the longest time I was ever in a star plank. And you don't realize, because we're always moving in our workouts, like, that you actually can hold, a plank or a position for super long, especially motivated by, like, confidence and, wanting to prove something. So I realized, like, I actually am an athlete who has a strength, and I can do things like lift couches and get in star planks for 2 minutes straight.
That's right, because you practice it every single day. Right? Beautiful.
So amazing to me, but, I would tell you, like, probably the biggest change for me, and you guys could look back in my 1800 posts about Tracy Anderson workouts. When I started posting, I never posted my face. And I didn't know that I wasn't, like, I was purposely cropping my face out of pictures, but I would always crop the picture to whatever parts of my body felt acceptable. And so there's some pictures, like, just of my feet or of my stomach positioned in the right way. And then I ultimately got to where I would live stream my whole workout. I would, do these interviews without makeup on. get to a place that I'm 100% comfortable in this community and with this workout. Not even just to stuff on Instagram, but I can do this workout in public and not worry that people are looking at me and thinking I'm doing something strange. Like, it's, you know, you reach that TAM confidence that you don't think you would ever have. And that, to me, is, like, the biggest change. I don't think there's anything else in the world that could change something to that degree, for me at least, besides this method.
That's a great story. I really, really, really love that. Especially as we grow older, and sometimes there are certain stereotypes that people take on at a certain age, but like being able to do this, it totally floors you, doesn't it? Right? Like I know when I go to the studio, I see some women are like 60 years old, and boy, they can move like some of those 20-year-olds right next to them. Incredible.
It is.
So do you have any tips for doing TAM while you travel? And I know that you travel a lot.
Yeah. I'm like still working out my travel philosophy about TAM. But I'll tell you that for a long time, I felt like I had to have every piece of equipment with me. So I've paid a lot of overweight baggage fees. I would bring both sets of ankle weights and my hand weights, my knee pad, a mat, like a ridiculous amount of things. And just in the last week or two, I've tried traveling just with my heavy ankle weights and then a knee pad and like this yoga mat towel situation. It's like really easy to fold and goes in the suitcase, but then you at least have a mat with you. And then I use the ankle weights as hand weights. I'm just like a really particular, obsessive TAM weirdo who wants to have everything perfect. And that's something that I have to realize, like, even if I couldn't bring anything, I can still do the workout without weights. Like, that's a thing I'm still, like, trying to get there with, but it actually worked out pretty well using the heavy ankle weights for arms and then only using the heavy for legs. So, you know, sometimes you just have to work with what you have, but I absolutely have taken 65-pound suitcases through tons of airports and been, like, everyone I work with thinks I'm insane. They'll ask if they can help me with my suitcase into the trunk of, you know, the rental car or whatever, and I'm like, you don't want to lift that suitcase. It's definitely too heavy. And they never believe me, and then they'll try. And I'm like, no, it's my punishment for bringing it that I should have to put it in the trunk myself. But I would say, like, just take what you can and make the workout happen. You know, you don't have to have everything, but if you can bring that, especially on car trips or whatever, it definitely makes it better.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're traveling for me, if you're traveling for a very, very long period of time, I usually find a place where they have a heated platform, or I'll go in and get a heater from a local, like Walmart or whatever. And those weights this year have been confiscated from me. But previously, they were never taken from me. And then this year, Canadian Customs decided that my ankle weights were finished. So they took them forever. Anyways, but don't worry, I replaced them. Okay, how about Tracy? Tracy, other than the 42-day diet that she put you on, what other pieces of advice has she given you or the Tamily during Vitality that you thought was just awesome? And maybe it gave you an aha moment.
You know, I would say that, honestly, with the last Vitality week, and, you know, I was able to talk to Tracy about how I was frustrated with having gained weight back, especially because it was something that should be a positive experience in my life of being promoted, and it actually created a lot of obstacles for me. I talked a lot about that, you know, what do I need to do to get back to where I was? And, you know, there's not like some kind of profound answer. We have everything we need already, and all we need to do is do a 1-hour workout every day and eat in a healthy way. And she talked a lot about food, about needing antioxidants, especially if you do strenuous exercise. in order to be healthy and to, keep from getting diseases and clearly keep your body at a healthy weight. But there wasn't some kind of crazy extra formula. Like, it's actually, if you're working out beyond that hour, and what Tracy really recommended for me was to do intermediate and add on advanced arms. So, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. It's really about that consistency. It's not about, like, overdoing something. She never says, like, well, you should do, start intermediate and advanced for 3 weeks so that you can get to where you should be. It's about consistency with the workout and eating in a healthy, balanced way. She also doesn't say, like, exclude things that give you, an emotional satisfaction or happiness. Like, we are socialized that food is an extremely important part of human interaction. And, especially because I work for a food company, like, we really need people to eat so that we can sustain. And especially in independent restaurants, it's part of celebrations. It's part of, like, togetherness. Like, you don't want to exclude things like birthday cake. And bagels and cream cheese make me happy. So that's going to probably be my breakfast forever. But, Tracy doesn't say to exclude those things, just to be smart about it. I probably could be a little smarter about my choices in some respects. But you have to also just own that and know that, like, I'm not also going to eat cupcakes in the evening. Like, that's not where, I've decided for my formula about my eating. And I did make, a lot of drastic changes, especially as far as, like, the organic piece. Like, that's a big, piece of it that you've got to think about, the chemicals and things that are going into your food that you're eating. And, you can't always be perfect, and you can't put that pressure on yourself to be perfect. It's really about consistency with the workout, never perfection. Even a workout that you feel like you didn't do that good is still a workout that happened, and giving your body that consistent message, really 7 days a week. Like, I've never felt like I should take a rest day because of the workout. I would always work out through soreness and stuff, and you're not, like, damaging yourself from that. To me, it's all about time and travel and whether it really can fit in. But that was, like, the biggest message from Tracy. Like, you have everything that you need to make this happen. And especially for me, that I feel like I've had to go on this journey twice, that, I wasn't sure how she would respond to me. And it really was just about doing the workout that we get from her updated every 7 days, which is amazing. And
amazing.
A lot of the stuff that's in the performance, if people have the membership to the performance, like that, the information, the recipes, all of that's, like, we have everything that we need to make this happen.
Are you going to get a graduation diploma?
I don't know. I really cannot even hardly look at most of what's in the performance because of how much I work. So, like, I just feel like the fact that I am making the workout happen most days and I'm eating better, it might be all I can do right now. But we definitely
meal prep is actually quite tasking.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
especially
kudos to you, because that's a huge life change. Like, chopping vegetables takes way longer than just cooking a piece of meat.
And
I know.
Easy. Like, I never in my life thought I would de-stem and chop rosemary. And I'm doing those kind of things. Like, it takes a lot of time. And some of the things that I've made haven't been that great, where I'm like, I don't want to spend 2 hours of my life making spaghetti squash when it tastes exactly like if I just chopped up some squash and ate it. Like, that is, like, not for me. But I've learned a lot about it. Like, I've learned it's not that hard to make omelets, and they're pretty good. I've learned that, like, there are aspects of it that are worthwhile, even though I've never cooked before. I mean, I've done things in the last 3 months that I've never done. And some of them I'm never going to do again, but others I'll do all the time, because it's just simply not that hard to bake fresh fish and roast sweet potatoes. Like, that's a meal I can make every day, and I love it. So, it's just a matter of figuring things out for yourself.
Yeah. I totally agree as well. Do you feel different? Like, I know you physically feel different, but has it affected the way you think, like with regards to your cognition?
I think I do have like much more of an ability to like concentrate for work and stuff. But I think it's a whole bunch of things coming together because when I got promoted and I was traveling every week and I was waking up at 2 in the morning every Monday for a flight to get to my office as soon as I could and prove myself, it was like lack of sleep, stress, all of that stuff going on. So since I changed that as well as the food, I think that's where I see, like, I was just surviving every Monday. I don't even know that I was, like, making that great of decisions because, it's like the lack of sleep. I would only have 48 hours on the weekend with my husband and my dogs. I wasn't going to go to bed at 7 p.m., so I'd stay up until 11:30 and wake up at 2 in the morning to start work for the week.
Has your husband changed the way he eats as well? And also, has he changed his workout? Does he ever tam with you?
So on the food front, he's been extremely supportive, and he has eaten all the same things that I eat. So
awesome.
When I was meals for me, that's what he would eat. Even like the spaghetti squash situation, there was like no meat involved in that, and that's very unusual for him to have a meal that's literally 100% vegetarian. But he was on board totally. He's been really supportive. Now, I could say when I'm not here, he's not eating the things that I would eat. So, whole package of cookies have disappeared, but he's very, very supportive. When it comes to the workout, he's absolutely never going to do the Tracy Anderson method, no matter how many times I ask him.
Even if you point out Menem as participants in the studio?
Yeah, it's just not his thing.
Does he work out at all, or?
He used to play basketball constantly. Like, he was in, like, 3 different basketball leagues, but he's had, joint issues and stuff, especially as you get over 40 and he's 6'8". I don't think that, human bodies were really made to be that tall. So he hasn't been able to play basketball due to, like, some arthritis and bone spurs and things like that. And that's what he really enjoys from a workout perspective. So he doesn't really, like, do a workout now. But he also doesn't really have, like, weight to lose being that tall. I think he'd rather do things that are super athletic. So that's kind of a challenge of finding something that would work for a workout for someone who, played basketball almost every day for, 3 decades. So no, he doesn't really work out now.
Suzanne, did you have a sport growing up? Sorry?
I'm sorry?
Did you have a sport growing up?
No. I'm really a clumsy nerd. I'm not an athletic human being, so...
Well, you have a sport now.
Yeah, I think I, played t-ball for 1 season, and I hated every friggin' second of it, and our team lost every game.
I think that they should make TAM an extracurricular activity at school.
Absolutely.
Don't you?
Yes. I only wish I had found this method sooner to know I could become an athlete in another way besides, sports that happen at school or different leagues or whatever. That was never my thing. Never.
Yeah. I think it's actually awesome that she has the teen streaming. I mean, wow. Like, I don't know if my daughter, who's in grade 7, necessarily wants to do my workout, but she would totally be up for the teen streaming, right? I think that's awesome. Okay, well, let's hear something important about you that you can share with the Tamily.
I didn't think about my
It's answer. A question that I see here.
It is a question. I approved all questions for this interview.
There are a few I asked you that weren't even on the list.
Something that's important to me, I feel like I tell you guys, everything that's in my mind every day, especially when I live stream my workouts. I always sit down and chat with, the internet for a few minutes. But I would say, it might be things you guys know. My dogs are really important to me. My husband is really important to me. My job is really important to me. And, I had an enormous change with that, going from being an HR business partner for 2 locations to being an HR director for the largest region in my company, which is the whole southeast of the country from Virginia to Florida, that I'm responsible for 5,000 employees now. And I can only handle that because I do this method and I have this community. So those are things that are important to me in my life besides this workout and all these wonderful ladies in the Tamily.
So my girl Natalie from Florida, but not closer to Miami, but not. Anyway, she would like to know if you ever do cardio, and that was a question that I should have been asking you. Dance cardio, is it a yay for you or a nay?
I hate it, but I did do it during Metamorphosis. And then when I started streaming, and there was one point where, I don't remember where this was, but Tracy said the 1 hour advanced or attain workout is a full workout. You don't need cardio, but cardio is definitely helpful for losing weight if you can control, the hunger that you might have extra hunger because of it. So I have occasionally done cardio. I really only do it because of this community. So Keisha asked me to live stream some cardio a few times in the last month or so. So I've done like 15 minutes only at the time that I have live streamed with Keisha. The other thing I realized though, especially because I got the heat and humidity in my Tam sanctuary, which is what I call this room, to perfection. So when I'm traveling and I can't get it, or as it's getting colder in the Carolinas, if I do just a few minutes of cardio, it really helps to, get the sweat going. So I will do that, but I am not at all on the cardio team when it comes to Tam.
Yeah. Natalie would also like to know if there's anything that you find very difficult about this method. Would it be cardio or something else?
I guess the choreography of cardio I find difficult, and I don't want to dedicate the time to learning it. I'm sure that I could, because I don't think you have to have a dance background to figure it out. But I have had some physical challenges with the method. I think partially because I really wasn't physically active before this method. And as I was getting stronger, your muscles get stronger faster than your tendons and ligaments, and I was having terrible tendinitis in various joints. I had bursitis in my left knee, which is horrible. It obviously interferes in this workout a lot because, you're putting your knee on the ground so often, and bursitis is really painful. So I went to the doctor several times about those kind of things. I took ibuprofen. Epsom salt baths are a total part of my life, especially when I'm doing my workout very consistently. I took one yesterday. I already took one today. But I also did physical therapy, and that really helped me to know which joints, where one is weaker than the other, and to get some balance in that regard. So I actually did 18 sessions of physical therapy in, I think it was 2017. And that for me. So I haven't had issues with tendinitis since then, but I am really conscious of it. I've taken those Epsom salt baths in the last 2 days because I feel something in my hip. It just helps to make you that much more aware of there's something going on, or maybe something slightly overstretched. And now, I think I've gotten also stronger in my tendons and ligaments that I don't have those issues. But that was a huge challenge for me, especially once I had the desire and I was making the time and I knew I could do the workout, and then a tendon in my toe would make it so I could barely walk. It was extremely frustrating, but, going to the doctor and pushing for more of a reason than rest is really what made a difference for me, and why he was fine, you can go to physical therapy. But every time I would go, they would say, well, don't work out for 7 days. And I would say, that's not what you tell NFL players. You give them some other solution. And you might not think I'm an NFL player, but I work out every day and I'm not stopping. So finally, and I actually ended up with a really great doctorate. He told me about the Epsom salt baths. And I'd also gotten like a prescription because of the tendonitis in my foot. And I just stuck my foot in the bathtub with Epsom salt, and I actually was working on my laptop, and it made the biggest difference for the tendonitis. I couldn't believe that Epsom salt was like that powerful.
Wow, I'm going to use it.
Oh, totally. It's seriously, it is so helpful. Plus, it's relaxing. It's, important to give yourself those moments, but yeah, it makes a total difference in like muscle fatigue and soreness for me, and for tendon health.
I love that. Let's see if there's any more questions here for us. Ladies, oh my gosh, there's so many. Can you see it? Do you see the questions, Suzanne?
I do.
You are a pro at this.
We're so not going to have time to answer all these questions.
I think that there's a lot of words of encouragement.
Oh, there totally are, yeah.
Is there anybody in the Tamily that you're looking forward to meeting?
Anyone. Like, I love that. Honestly, probably the only thing that's more motivating than doing Ask Tamily interviews is meeting people in the Tamily. So, anyone,
I love my Tam meetups.
Like, yes. That's like, to me, that's like almost as energizing as the Vitality Week. Just even if you meet someone for coffee, like, it's fantastic. So, I mean, I would say anyone in the Tamily that I haven't met yet. And to be honest with you, especially because of doing these interviews, I sort of already feel like I've met a lot of people. Like, I have to think in my mind, have I ever actually met that person for real?
Right.
But, anyone in any city that I'm in, I would always love to meet.
I often speak about this with other Tamily. When we meet for the first time, it's uncanny how the person that you don't know, virtually, you actually know them in real life. It's just, you're completely connected, and they're exactly what you imagine them to be.
Yeah, it's true. And you do, you see their personalities and you learn things about their life in posts and everything, but that's another reason why I really love these interviews, because it takes things to, like, the next level. Like, especially to me, watching some people that post, like, every day, and they always have their videos, and they always, post pictures in their workout outfits, and you think sometimes that those are the most outgoing, like, super confident people, and then they're nervous in their interview. And I think it's so wonderful to learn that dynamic about different people, and, to see another type of perspective. Like, definitely we get to know certain things about each other from posting and messaging and everything, but having the interviews too, I think really, like, takes it to another level.
Has there been a member of the Tamily that kind of, dropped out, maybe life got too busy, but you would really, really, really like to see them again?
Oh gosh, there's actually, like, people that I think either just, stopped posting, and they might still, even be doing the workout and stuff, and they just don't have time for the posting. I mean, I know I've gone through that where, like, even now, I just don't feel like I have as much of a connection because I'm not seeing every day, whether people post. Sylvia, who lives in Italy, Biotti, she was someone who, like, I communicated with on a regular basis. She posted all the time. She was at the Charleston Vitality Week, and then she, like, disappeared from Instagram. And she ended up coming back. Like, she liked one of my posts once, and I was like, oh my God, where have you been? So, like, and she was still doing the method and everything, but sometimes you just, like, can't fit social media in your life, or it's just not, like, fitting at that time for whatever reason. So I know I was overjoyed seeing her again. But there's been a lot of people, and they might have even, like, moved on to another workout or something, which the right workout for you is whichever one you're going to do. So I'm supportive of people working out no matter what they do. But obviously, like being in this community and posting and everything, usually it's going to be about Tracy Anderson.
True.
But yeah, I would certainly welcome anyone back who's stopped posting.
Yeah. And sometimes they're like sometimes I'll actually reach out to them and I'll ask them, if everything is going well, and just, drop them a line and maybe they just tell me what's going on in their life, especially if I was connected to them for a time being. Well, are there any other questions posted? Let's see. Anybody want to know more about our beautiful interviewee today?
Well, there's 2 questions about Vitality Weeks I could answer if you want.
Oh, yes, please.
So Non-Glam Tam asked, what are your tips for Vitality Week, being able to enjoy it and not be overwhelmed with the long workouts?
I met Jess. She's wonderful.
So, it was insane of me to go to a Vitality Week and never have used heat and humidity before. So being practiced at that is important. Being able to do an hour of Attain is definitely helpful if you go to a Vitality Week. I've been doing intermediate, though, for the last year. And when we were at the Hamptons Vitality Week last August, the workouts were 2 hours. And I didn't die. Like, I thought, there was moments I was like, I'm going to give up and leave the room. But I didn't do that. So, you do have to have the energy and the community from the people in the room to get through 2 hours of, it was like 45 minutes of arms and an hour and 15 minutes of legs. Like, that is definitely a big deal. Being in, like, as healthy of a space as you can be is going to help you, to handle those kind of workouts. Like, I wouldn't take off 2 months and then want to go to a Vitality Week, but you can. It's the people in the room and the energy that's going to keep you able to do it. But drinking enough water, like I would get a dehydration headache like every day from Vitality Weeks because you're just going to sweat more. It's just, even if you do heat and humidity at home all the time, it's never going to be like that. So that's another, tip, but just go for it.
I know Sintra has a question. She wants to know, when are you going to be back in Chicago?
I know that I'll be there the 4th to the 6th of December, I think, and then also like the 11th to the 13th or something. So I do have 2 trips to Chicago in December. I haven't, booked anything or whatever yet, so I don't know if those are the exact days, but I will be there then, so I'll message her.
Oh, yes. And if you're in Toronto, you must message me.
Well, I never travel internationally for work, but if I do for, personal, I will absolutely let you know.
Now, we have a nice question here about self-talk when you don't feel like it. What's your self-talk, Suzanne?
My negative self-talk about not wanting to work out?
No, yourself, to motivate yourself.
Oh, well, I have to counteract all my negative self-talk. What I tell myself sometimes is I'm only going to do the parts of the workout that I like, and then I will do mostly all of it, but I'll give myself permission to like skip a move I hate or something. That I feel like there's I don't know, it's like a dread about exercise that is like socialized in society, like that it's terrible, it's bad, it's it's really difficult, you shouldn't want to do it. And I feel like I have that still, even though I've been doing this method, faithfully for a few years, and I've known about it for a very long time. I have to like push that away of like, I want to procrastinate my workout. Actually, I enjoy it, so let's do something that's fun. Like, I put that into my mind. And I've been trying to have a mantra lately, which is do the workout first. not first in the day, because I'm not going to work out in the morning, but like traveling for work and I get to my hotel, instead of doing 3 hours of work on my laptop, do the workout first and then do the work on the laptop. Like, just, you know, if I can, do the workout at 6 p.m. and, you know, then meet somebody for a drink or appetizers or whatever. I get a lot of pressure about going to dinner for work when I'm traveling, but, you know, where that's possible, do it and do the workout first. And I remind myself, I love this method and I love this workout. I don't know where that like dread about exercise comes in, because I always feel great doing it usually and feel spectacular afterwards. So I think just reminding myself of that is motivational, and looking at Instagram and seeing everybody else doing it is motivational too.
I have an extension question actually about that, about your timing. Do you find that you can't fall asleep if you don't tan?
No. I like fall asleep anytime. People ask a lot if I can't go to sleep after I work out. I can. I also drink like 1,000 cups of coffee a day. I can still fall asleep. So, it doesn't affect me that much from that perspective. That's kind of probably a weird thing, because I think for most people it would. But yeah, I think I just run on being tired. So as soon as I'm in a bed, I'm going to go to sleep. I always like pick something out on Netflix to watch and I'm asleep before it really starts.
Oh, that's smart. Did you watch the Netflix Game Changer? Is it Game Changer, is it called?
I don't think I've seen that.
Everybody's been talking about it in the Tamily.
I'm going to have to.
Oh, yes. It promotes plant-based eating. That's, you know, and I'm sure it would be, match your new lifestyle.
You know what?
Bam, you
about it, and then I forgot, so I will have to look for it.
Yeah. Bam, you should tan.
Maybe that's
what's your favorite piece of advice that you feel Tracy has ever given, either to you or someone else? You clearly have reviewed that. Do you want to add anything to that?
My favorite piece of advice to me or anyone else. I mean, well, like, you know, when I talked with her at the Vitality Week in August, and she said that I could lose 20 pounds in 42 days, I made a face at her like, what? I mean, I lost pounds before, and it took a solid 18 months, but it's because I didn't make a drastic change in my food, and I didn't, make sure that I also had the workout consistency at the same time. And, I was pretty good for that 42 days, but I wasn't perfect. Like, there were some Chick-fil-A sandwiches in there as well. And
you're so funny.
Like, it's not a crazy, restrictive, celebrity kind of a diet to do, to eat healthy, organic recipes that you made yourself, but you will lose weight from it. Like, I couldn't believe she was like, and she actually did it on a calculator. She was like, let's see, okay, it's going to take you 42 days to lose 20 pounds. And I was like, what? 42 days? It took me, months and months to lose, 7 pounds. And it's because of that, combination. So I think that's, the most surprising advice that turned out to be really real. I was so skeptical of it, and I usually, I really believe in Tracy's philosophies and what she says, and I thought that was ridiculous, but it happened. I mean, almost 3 pounds shy of it.
Oh my God, I need to know the secret to her science. That's ridiculous. She took out a calculator?
She did.
Oh my God.
I think it's about how many, maybe she thought, I don't know, I'm very bad at math, 2 or 3 pounds a week or something. And that seemed so ridiculous to me, but it totally worked. And I wasn't restrictive. I wasn't hungry. I would be really serious about it's lunchtime, but it was enough food to totally feel sustained and to be able to do a 1-hour workout as well.
Okay, quickly, we have 1 minute left. I need to know, what recipe is your favorite from Performance?
It was a Life Bowl with cottage cheese cantaloupe, like cinnamon, honey. Oh, it was really good. And I didn't involve any cooking, and I would have eaten it 25 times.
Yeah, I wonder if you could have that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's